this voice message that we're about to play you guys is a response to this part by Fascifist, who's a Swiss of Indian ancestry from India. And so he kind of breaks down what he was talking about. Look at the high cast and the low cast. Go ahead, if you can play that.
Wait, because I don't know how to play it from like my
I can
phone,
do it.
so
I can do it right now. Just let me do it.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
Klaus, put the video like full screen for the audience.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience. This is Klaus's first day as engineer, and as you can see, he's not doing too well.
All right,
Well,
let me just
just fucking with you.
All right, I'll play it right now. Just listen, everybody.
Go ahead, Billy.
This graph here is actually extremely misleading because the blue here that is labeled Indian Brahmin and the green here that is labeled Indian lower caste seems to imply that Brahmins and lower castes are two separate ethnic groups, as if Brahmins are an ethnicity. Brahmins are not an ethnicity. The other castes, the lower castes, are not an ethnicity. Kshatriya is not an ethnicity. Shudra is not an ethnicity. It's a class, not an ethnic group. Okay, this is very important to understand. So to label the blue here Indian Brahmin and to label the green there Indian lower caste is dishonest, because what's actually being shown there is North Indians for blue and South Indians for green. It has nothing to do with being a Brahmin or being any caste at all. That's a very important distinction. Why? Because there are Brahmins in South India. There are Kshatriyas and Brahmins everywhere in India. There are lower caste people in North India too. There's Shudras in North India. It's not like all of North India is just Brahmins and Kshatriyas, and all of South India are just Shudras and Vaishyas. That's clearly not the case. Again, because Brahmin is not an ethnic identity. Brahmin is a class designation. It is an economic class designation. And to prove this, I will read the following. It says, in the early Indian society of the Vedic era, classification was actually based on merit rather than birth. This was called the Varna system. Society was classified into the priests and scholars called Brahmins, the warriors called Kshatriyas, the traders called Vaishyas, and the working class called Shudras. This was never a rigid system. For example, a Shudra could easily become a Brahmin when he became a scholar, or a Brahmin could easily be called a Kshatriya if he took up arms to do battle or wage war. The Varna system, in truth, was always a system of dividing labor. Problems arose only once the Varna system became rigid and turned into the Jat system, or what modernists colloquially refer to as the caste system today. While there is no mention of such a system in the earliest scriptures like the Vedas or the Gita, later scriptures, including some Puranas, are abound in information about it. So while on the one hand you have the Rig Veda saying everyone, whether Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, should be taught the Vedas, latter scriptures prohibit it and often cruelly enforce the restrictions. Now, important to remember is that only the Vedas have ever been revealed as divinely inspired to the ancient scholar. This attribute is never granted to any and all latter scriptures. This implies that the latter scriptures were the result of human innovations and modernizations, and in fact misrepresentations, whereas only the Vedas were considered to be of a divine origin. And if you guys are interested in more about that, you can read the Divine Vedas by Sanjeev Newar. But the point here being is that the original Varna system purely describes class distinctions economically, and it is in fact a system of dividing labor. It's not describing ethnic groups whatsoever. So in conclusion, again, with the graph there, that the blue should be labeled North Indian, the green should be labeled South Indian. It has nothing to do with caste. It has nothing to do with Brahmins and Kshatriyas and Vaishyas and Shudras. It has nothing to do with that whatsoever. There are Brahmins in the green and there are Brahmins in the blue. There are Shudras in the green and there are Shudras in the blue. It's just distinguishing North and South Indians, not castes.
All right, so that was an audio from the Fascifist, and he does have a YouTube channel, so if you guys can give him a follow, I think Billy will be able to link that up in the comments.